Alright, so for today's recipe, I am making one of my wife's favorite dishes, which is Romanian Meatball Soup. This is an amazing soup for the winter time, and I got this recipe out of a Romanian cookbook that we just recently got called From Dill to Dracula. Please stay tuned. I will show you every step of the way, and by the way, the book will be cited in the description below, as well as the ingredients and the recipe overall. So let's go ahead and start doing this. All right, so today I'm going to be making Romanian meatball soup, which Romanians call Ciorbă de Perișoare. And please, 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 my Romanian family members out there watching this video, don't kill me because I butchered that. You know, my Romanian sucks ass these days because I haven't even practiced it. But we're going to make this soup. This is a really good soup. And yeah, I'm going to be making my own stock today, and you don't have to make your own stock, but I'm telling you right now, you got to make your own stock sometimes. It's worth it. You just get some bones of meat that you have lying around or at the grocery store, or some chicken thighs or something, some veggies, throw it in there. It doesn't take long at all. The only thing that I have to argue with this dish on that I really am not happy with is the fact that there's no garlic in this dish at all. There's no garlic at all. No garlic. I think I'm going to be all right. I don't know. But I can go ahead and make this. This is going to be fast, and I'm probably going to pour myself a glass of wine at this point to cope with the fact that there's no garlic in this dish. But it is good. I have to say, it is an amazing soup. I just wish there was a little garlic. That's it. I just want a little garlic in this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own broth here. And so I've got pork bones, so it's neck bones, femur bones. I've got 4 chicken thighs. I've got a whole yellow onion and 2 garlic cloves there, which I'm going to toss into the oven on a pan at a high broil. I want to get those nice and juicy and a little bit charred there with the broil because that will really help with the broth process. And I've heard that it actually reduces the amount of scum that you have to scrape off. So once that's all done, I go ahead and take a large stock pot and I start piling all those bones, the onions, the garlic, and the chicken thighs into here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some celery. I'm adding about 4 to 5 stalks of celery here. I'm going to break it in half so it fits nice and cozy into there. And then I'm going to add some carrots as well. Cover it with water, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil, set it on simmer, and keep skimming any scum that may come off along the way, because we don't want that scum in our broth, do we? If you don't want to make your own broth, that is perfectly fine. You can always just go with store-bought chicken broth. It is perfectly fine. But I gotta say, I heard there's no garlic in the actual soup, so let me ask a pro. I'm gonna check on this. I'm gonna make a call on this. My mother-in-law.
Hello?
Ce faci, doamna?
Bine? Tu ce faci?
Bine, bine. Hey, I have a question for you.
Aha.
Ciorbă de Perișoare.
Yeah.
Do I put garlic in it?
No.
No garlic.
If you want, but if you want, you can add.
If I want to, but traditionally no?
Traditionally, no.
Okay. All right. You're on camera right now. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, love you too. Bye.
Love you. All right, so it took me some time to get over that, but we got to keep moving. So I'm going to make the meatballs now. So I've got a pound of ground pork here, and then a tablespoon of each of dill and fresh chopped parsley. Wow, where am I? Now we've got some breadcrumbs here, and I'm going to do about a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to follow that up with some wild rice. You can use regular rice, it's perfectly fine. And this is just going to be about a 1/4 cup of regular wild rice, and I'm going to come back with some salt. So about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and pepper. I'm adding a little bit more of like a tablespoon, but that's how I like it. You can always do it how you like it as well, or follow the recipe from the book exactly if that's what you want to do. And then I'm going to give that a good mix and start forming my meatballs. But before I do that, I want to introduce some egg yolks. So I'm going to use about 1 egg, whisk it up, and I'm going to pour into this mixture here and give that a really good mix, because the egg is a really good binder for the meatballs. You don't want to skip this step. Definitely do not skip this step. It's very much well worth it.
All right, so our meatballs are already formed, and I'm going to start working on our veggies that are going to go into the soup. So I've got one large yellow onion here that I'm going to go ahead and chop up. It's going to be diced, not chopped, but finely diced. And then the same for 2 carrots. Then, after the carrots are done, I'm going to get 2 stalks of celery and do the same for them. They're going to be finely diced. So into a pot, we are going to go ahead and take about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. You can do a little bit more, that's perfectly fine. And then we're going to just drop in all of our veggies and start sauteing them in this pot. Once those veggies have sauteed for a little bit, I'm going to add in some salt and pepper to taste, just about a tablespoon of each to help it go along, and I'll taste it as it goes, just to make sure it tastes right. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste here. You can add more if you want, it's up to you, but about 2 tablespoons is what the recipe calls for. All right, then we're going to start dropping in our broth. So I'm using quite a bit. I'm actually using, I want to say about 6 cups. The recipe calls for 4 cups, but I'm using a lot of broth here, and I'm straining it through a strainer when I'm dropping it in. And then I'm going to go ahead and introduce our meatballs once all of that soup went into a boil state. So once it's at a boil state, that's when we put in those meatballs, give it a good stir, and keep checking on them to make sure they are getting cooked. And you can put it on about medium heat at this point, just to keep it going, or you can continue to boil. It's up to you. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 fresh bay leaves. You can use dry if you want. And I'm going to introduce something here. This is an ingredient called Vegeta. It's a spice mix. And it's not to be confused with this awesome guy, Vegeta, even though I love Dragon Ball Z. Nope, sorry, it's not Vegeta. And so this is going to be about half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of Vegeta. And as you can see, I'm adding a little bit more because I like it a lot. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some lemon. So the juice of half a lemon. You can skip the lemon, honestly. It's just some soups in Romania are a little sour, but you can always skip this if you don't want it a little bit sour. After that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce some eggs. So I have an egg here that I whisked up just because this is how my wife likes it. So I went ahead and added the egg in just for some extra depth in the soup overall. Now the soup has been going for a little bit, and I want to add in some extra kosher salt, maybe a little bit more black pepper, just to help it go along the way. Like I said, it's always to taste. Whenever you're cooking, you're constantly tasting. But we are done and we're ready for plating. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into a bowl here, and a nice touch to this would just be some parsley to go on top, and there we are. We are good to go with this beautiful soup.
All right, so here we are. So it is all done. I can't tip this, sorry, but yeah, I'm gonna take a bite of it. And as you heard, it works. This is good. So let's go ahead and take a bite. I'm gonna take a little bit of the meatball and some of the broth. Wow, that is good. It's really fragrant and everything. I mean, this is an awesome recipe. I'm really happy about it. I'm gonna take another bite, but yeah, very proud of myself here. I think this one is definitely one I'm gonna keep in the bag. So thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. So please like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Personally, again, I'd rather have some garlic in this, but honestly, this is an amazing soup and you have to have it in the bag. You gotta have it in the bag. So, we're done here. I'm out. Cheers.